Not everybody knows that full squat is the best stretch for your spine. You are actually losing this ability due to our advanced digital society, particularly the advent of the so-called comfortable chair that our body was not made for. Something wasn't right. For weeks, you were experiencing a mild to moderate aches and soreness on your shoulder joint. That does not happen before. Psychologically, resting will be your solution. You lower the number of days that you work out regularly. As you started to be anxious, why it does not go away? Months pass by, but the pain lingers and getting worse each day. Though sketchy and positional pain is pretty common. You are able to do your daily activities, but the pain is just frustrating and annoying. You totally stopped your regular workout and started taking some pain medication, a temporary relief, but the signs and symptoms still persist. This is me when my first left frozen shoulder happened. The suffering stage with its peak of intolerable aches and pains started early in the year of 2015. My behavior and reaction to my situation are like everybody else. I reacted like you. The common belief that pain means to stop moving, or much literally worse, to stop using your shoulder. It is always the rule we learn that pain means a warning that tells us that rest is needed. Immediately taking medication is another human psychology behavior that is common. It was my last resort, but did not work as well. It was just temporary relief. For me, it is just tracking my ability to pain sensation. I am not here to tell you to stop paying attention to whatever pain that you have, but instead to basically educate you on this specific disease of the shoulder joint that requires more the opposite management than the usual behavior you and I commonly do. I am here as yours truly, personal coach, who had experienced and again experiencing the same case of frozen shoulder on my right side. But now I'm equipped with a better perspective and approach on dealing with this particular condition that I believe will help you reduce and even avoid its resulting debilitating mobility that can lead to shoulder joint deformity. So much so, support your emotional and provide you a better peace of mind that everything will be just fine as long as you diligently follow my suggestion. Be consistent and integrate stretch around your lifestyle. I want to make a shout out to Jineap Tanlimko and her family. She was my former classmate from Chiang Kai-shek College. Hi Jineap, you asked me about shoulder mobility. The movement here is not just for frozen shoulder. If your shoulders are tight and stiff due to poor posture or from spending long hours behind your computer, you can use the following exercise here that I will present later. Thank you for your suggestion and comments. Looking forward to hear from more. Now back to our topic. Flexibility check. What's most important right now is maintaining your range of motion throughout as much as possible. You should be able to keep whatever your activities of daily living. Same here. Even when I had my first frozen shoulder, I was still able to work as a stretch therapist until I recover. Aging, I believe, is overtaking our normal life from several negative factors that I will discuss in the near future. With frozen shoulder, it doubles or maybe triple the speed of deterioration and degeneration you get from getting old. Beside the impact of slow metabolism and recovery due to aging, frozen shoulder can aggravate the speed of your current premature aging due to its debilitating ability that can result to permanent joint limitation. That is why you need a very clear stretching objective. It should be regularly checked and easy to measure. Be consistent and persistent. You can start by checking yourself by following this easy and convenient way to test your ability to move your straight arms over your head. Using a firm table or bed, move your straight arm over your head with hands facing each other. You should feel comfortable in this position. Your neck and lower back should be able to relax together with your straight arms. Both arms overhead should feel the same and should have the same range of motion. You have an excellent shoulder joint mobility if you are able to rest your arms above you comfortably flat on the surface. Most common mistake is overarching the lower back to reach your arm further back. Neutral curve should be kept stable by engaging your core. The space between the table and your lower back should just be enough to slip your open flat hands under you. Depending on the stage of your frozen shoulder, that side that is involved with frozen shoulder might not be able to reach the flat form or might be shorter than the normal shoulder, resulting to lopsidedness of your shoulder flexion, range of motion. This test will serve as your guide when you are stretching. Your objective is to keep your current flexibility throughout the 1-year challenge. Again, progression of range of motion or strength beyond your current level is not your goal. Just maintaining it would make a huge difference. Bend over stretch is the easiest and safest to start with. This will not only serve as a warm-up, but will lightly to moderately ease up those major affected muscles that get short and tight with frozen shoulder. But this stretch needs close attention, the most to details and instructions. Mastering how you execute and preserve the quality of movement of this stretch is your main objective, before gradually applying more force to it to create traction and lengthening. Bending over pertains to making a hinge from your hip joint. The action is moving your stomach or your tummy close to your upper thigh. That is why the best support you can use should be the same level of your hip. Most common mistake is bending the knees too much instead of just keeping it soft and slightly bended. By not locking your knees, it is easier for you to perform and position your upper trunk properly. As much as possible, lift up and move your tailbone away from your body. This will serve as traction to your spine as you expand away consciously. Another common mistake is lifting your head up. The neck and the shoulder has an intimate relationship. Whatever you do to your neck, it will influence your shoulders biomechanically and vice versa. So instead of lifting your head, bring it down and disengage your neck. Just let the weight of your head to fall straight down by gravity between your arms. Relaxing the neck this way will unravel and let go of tension that actually limits your shoulder joint potential to stretch optimally. I mentioned this to my previous video on most common mistakes about your neck position. I highly suggest you to check it out for more stronger foundation of understanding the concept if you haven't watched that video. If this is your first time in my channel, hit the subscribe button if you like what I'm talking about. You are also welcome to leave a comment on the section below. Click the bell as well so you don't miss any new uploads every week. Every annoying pain from your shoulder joint will distract your attention and focus and might end up frustrated, which happens to me as well. By consistently watching my videos, it will serve as a repetitive reminder for you to have a very stable focus and purpose, thereby limiting your tendency to lose your confidence because of constant aches and pain. Let's continue. For conveniency, a table is your best choice for support, but you lose the additional traction that helps with pain and opening up your shoulder joint space. If you use a table for your straight arm, lengthen your arm away from you. Just imagine somebody is slowly pulling your arm away from your shoulder joint. With your straight arm in front of you, relax your neck by just hanging between your arms. The space should be enough for your head to go through while doing the stretch. Repetition, holding the stretch and then going back from the starting position should be comfortably performed. I feel great when I get to hold the stretch with additional self-traction using just my body weight. If you're in the right position, you should feel your body weight controlling the stretch and lengthening instead of your arm doing the work. Eventually, as you continuously practice, your stretching movement is almost effortless and will be more concentrated on your hand that is holding and supporting your body as you move. The stretch area will be more on the muscle outside your shoulder blades, namely latissimus dorsi and the serratus anterior. Beside the chest muscle, the last two muscles are responsible for rounding and internally rotating your shoulder, resulting to a humpback posture. Simultaneously, squeeze your shoulder blades as you stretch. Keeping your head and neck relaxed make it easy for you to move your shoulder blades together and hold it to a couple of seconds. Traction will be felt more internally, suiting to those soft tissue structures closest to the joint. After getting used to this first stretch, get deeper stretch and traction with confidence with the next movement. Upright shoulder stretch. You need a stable support or bar above your head that you can hold on to and hang your body weight. I am fortunate to have a closed playground like for adults to use outdoor. A monkey bar that is low enough to keep my feet touching the ground. I don't suggest using a bar too high that you couldn't control your stretch. Holding on to the bar with your feet off the ground to stretch is difficult and painful for your hands anyway. You need to stretch with control at least 4 to 6 times with moderate effort, targeting your shoulder joint and not your grip strength or your forearm. At home, you might find it convenient to hold on to stable edges above you with single arm. With 2 arms up, you can compare your shoulders to each other better and easier for you to squeeze your shoulder in between stretches with traction. Most weight and force from the stretch comes from the hip moving down as you slowly bend your knees with control. A slight movement progression can be applied by changing the position of your grip or changing the direction of stretch force. Instead of just going straight down, you can experiment and try out moving to the side like what I'm doing here. Moving my hips slowly to the left side will stretch different soft tissue fibers around my right frozen shoulder joint. As long as you follow the stretch rules I am recommending, your shoulders is in good hands. Bonus stretch for the spine. Not everybody knows that full squat is the best stretch for your spine. You are actually losing this ability due to our advanced digital society, particularly the advent of the so-called comfortable chair that our body was not made for. With frozen shoulder stage and its unavoidable long-term aches and pain, poor posture definitely is the end result. And the best way to prevent this is to start with the spine support you need against the gravity. Regularly checking and stretching the spine will guide your head and neck to its neutral position as the center spine regain its proper or its neutral orientation. Consistency and micro progression is the key, especially for those who already lost the ability to do a full squat. You can start by holding on to a stable support in front of you as a start. Find your most comfortable squat position with the knee as your guide. You might feel a stretch on the point of your knee but not pain. In general and anatomically, the point of the knee should follow the second toe as you go down to a squat. The width of your feet will be dependent on your comfort. Keep your chosen position regularly until you feel better and confident to change the width of your feet for more mobility. I suggest staying down and hold for 2 seconds only and come up with support if it's your first time. You can start with 1 repetition to test yourself until you can reach 4 to 6 repetitions, going up and down with a stretch hold at the bottom. If full stretch is not a problem for you, then you can do stretches while at the bottom. I start where I move my lower back to straighten and lengthen my trunk. Lifting up my chest while tucking in my chin stretches my upper spine. Shifting my weight from one side to the other, then I can follow it up with raising my arms straight over my head, reaching and stretching for a count of 2. I will do all with 4 to 6 reps to avoid staying too long at the bottom. Gotta get moving. I appreciate you checking out this video. Always hit the subscribe button to video like this. Remember to click the like button and don't hesitate to leave a comment or suggestion at the lower section below. Keep the bell ringing by smashing that notification button so you don't miss new uploads that will change your life. Thank goodness you are able to stick around till the end. Thank you for listening. This is Jaisley. I am an active, isolated stretch practitioner.